Greetings, traders. I am going to answer your questions that you have sent to me through email, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first question is coming from Wesley. Hello, my name is Wesley. I ran across your information on YouTube. I trade usually short-term positions on the SPY and SPX options, but would love to learn about your oil method. What is the amount needed to execute these trades? Is it on margin? The amount you need to execute the trades would depend upon which broker you're going to go with. You can get $500 margin through like Mirus Futures, which is a real cheap broker. They use Ninja Trader. You can get OEC Trader or Global Zen Trader through GFF Brokers out of Los Angeles, and they charge somewhere around $2,000 for margin for every contract. So every contract that you're going to open up, you're going to you're going to need $2,000 in your account. For a broker like this, Interactive Brokers, I'm not sure exactly what it is right now. They're always changing it, but it's somewhere around $3,500 or so. $3,500 you'll need for every one contract that you want to take out. As oil goes up in price, the margins will probably increase, and I've seen them as high as $8,000 before through Interactive Brokers. Okay, next question is coming from Jordan. He says, hello David, just wanted to ask you a few questions. I have back tested both codes and it really surprised me how well your techniques work. With that being said, how long in the future do you think the codes will continue to work? I understand you have been trading for years. I am 24 years old and I feel that I got into the game a little late. I was so shocked at how well these techniques work. It made me think that they might not use these codes for the years to come. I hope to build equity over the next few years, but considering how well your system works, how long can it go on for? Or in your opinion, how long will they keep doing this? I was skeptical at first, but after seeing it for myself, I now can agree. By the way, David, if you could let me know where to write a review for your work, I would be very honored to do so. YouTube or your website, just let me know. Once again, David, thank you so much for your hard work and hope to hear back from you. I appreciate that, Jordan. To answer your question, I first discovered these codes in 2006. When I first discovered them, actually it was code 1 that I first discovered. When I first discovered it, I too thought the exact same thing as you. I thought, how long is this going to work for? I mean, I actually remember thinking back something like, I wonder if it'll work for another month. Boy, I could make a lot of money, you know, if it'll work for another month. And then a month went by, and so then I thought, wow, maybe it'll work for like, even another month maybe, or even maybe 2 or 3 months. Who knows? They could make a tremendous amount of money if they just would only keep it. And so then 2 or 3 months went by, and then I thought, wow, I wonder if it'll maybe work for 6 months. That would be incredible. And then 6 months went by, and then after a while it got to the point where, okay, I guess they are not going to change it or can't change it or whatever. So, the code has always worked for the last 12 years since I discovered it. Many other people have also expressed the same exact thing. It's kind of like when you find a money tree, right? You are wondering how long will that tree keep producing money for, and you get a little bit scared that it's going to stop. Everyone's the same way pretty much. So don't worry about it. I don't think it's going to change. It hasn't changed in 12 years, but hey, you never know. Anything is possible. Okay, next question coming from Sanjeev. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hi, does your system only work on oil futures? I am from the UK and I use a spread betting broker as it is tax-free, but I can't find a broker that offers spread bets on oil futures. Also, I don't know anything about oil futures. Is that a problem? Well, not really. You just need to learn about it, but I'm not sure about the spread betting broker. I've never seen it before and I don't know anything about it, so I don't, if you can't do oil futures, you would either need to use a futures broker or you could use Nadex. Nadex is really good. You can do it, the code 2 with Nadex. That works really well too. Or you can just get a futures account. But once you learn the codes though, you can use that knowledge for just about anything you want to use it for. You don't have to just use it for oil. Okay, here's a question from Love, L-U-V. Hi David, sorry to write so many emails at once. I am willing to join the charting service. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I will be available only after 12 p.m. California time to follow the charting service. Do you think I will still be benefit from it? If you can only come after 12 p.m. California time, which is lunchtime California time, no, you wouldn't be able to benefit from the charting service. I should be able to take entries on code 2 at night, which will be 6 a.m. USA. Please also reply to my other inquiries as well. I will join the charting system straight away if you think I wouldn't miss a lot. Well, if you can be at the charting at 6 a.m. California time, which is 9 a.m. New York time, then you could take advantage of the charting. But if you're going to do it at 12 p.m., you can't right now. 12 p.m., we're not talking about 12 a.m., we're not talking about midnight, we're talking about 12 p.m., which is in the afternoon, lunchtime. The market is basically dead at that time and doesn't really do anything much at that time. So yeah, you would need to be available at like around 6 a.m. California time or 9 a.m. New York time to take advantage of the USA market. There also are codes at the European market, which might be of more interest to you, but right now those code 2s are not working. Market's not active enough. But the USA market, the code 2s are working, so that's what we're trading right now. Another question again from Love, L-U-V. Hi, I hope this email finds you well. I'm inquiring regarding E-mini S&P videos. Do I have you purchase them separate? Are those videos similar to code 1 and code 2? Thank you. The E-mini S&P videos you get for free as a bonus with the best deal for $600. And those videos are code 1. And those videos are, the code 1 is taught differently than the code 1 under oil. It's still the same code, it's still the same thing, but they're taught in a different way. And they're also taught how to find the code mathematically in a very precise way. And so in many respects it's a better trading course if you want to trade code 1. That's why as soon as you buy my courses, I recommend to watch the E-mini course if you're interested in learning the code 1. Because many people who are confused about the code 1 by watching the oil course, when they watch the E-mini course, then they understand, and really well too. So you're going to get that if you got the $600 course. That's why I give that as a bonus, because it really helps people. So another question coming from Memphis. Hey David, thanks for the lessons. It seems tonight 7-1 Sunday Asian session is the rare Asian gap trade. Is the gap down drop to 71.51 to be the low, and will it fill that gap before reversing back down? Do gaps always fill in the same sessions, or could it go a couple days, weeks? Thanks. You really need to be careful about what broker you're using and what charting they're using. Sometimes it looks like there's a gap, but there really isn't. It just depends on what's going on. I mean, a lot of people have said that there was a gap and there really wasn't. So you should be really careful about that. The gap plays are really not something that I even use anymore. First of all, they don't happen very often, and second of all, there really isn't any use in them. I mean, if they started happening again with some regularity, if we got 200, gap up, 200 tick gap up trades, yeah, we could take them again, sure, but haven't happened in quite a long time. And I'm assuming that was the Sunday that you're talking about. Yeah, you said Sunday Asian session. I don't know that there was a gap there. I've been doing the charting every day, and I've never seen a gap. So I don't think that there was a gap there. If I'm mistaken, it could have been, did you change over the contracts maybe? And that can look like there was, or, I'm really not sure. I didn't see a gap. If you saw a gap, see, I rely mostly on this charting here to show me gaps. This is Interactive Brokers charting, and it shows gaps really well. if there's gaps between the sessions, especially on Sunday, of course. Okay, here's another question from Magna, coming from South Africa. Good morning, David. Trust you are well. We would like to know, if we become part of the monthly academy, do we trade with you? Do you tell us, okay, you don't trade with me. You would learn how to use the codes for yourself, and you'd have that knowledge for yourself once you studied the videos. Do you tell us when to take a trade? No, I don't. The code will tell you when to take a trade. Which company do you use to trade with? Or when I say the code will tell you to take a trade, there isn't some computer or something like that saying, take a trade now. No, it's nothing like that. Is you have to learn how to use the codes and see the code on the chart. See, this chart right here, if you know how to look at it properly, will show you the code. You don't need any indicators. You don't need anything at all. You just need a chart. And with that chart, you can see the code if you learn how to read it. And then from that, you can know whether it's going to go up or down. So you can use that knowledge, that code knowledge, on just about anything out there. Not just oil, but just about anything. I discovered it using the Forex. I've used it on gold, I've used it on the E-mini, I've used it on oil. It works on everything as far as I know. Which company do you use to trade with? We are currently with FXCM, but the spread is too high. It feels if they slip you. Yeah, you don't want to use FXCM, which is a Forex broker, to trade oil with. You're going to need to use a futures broker, or you can get a Nadex account, but you're going to need to learn how to use the codes, the code 2, and track the code 2, or join the charting service, which will cost you $300 a month, or you can track it yourself. But you can use that knowledge, that information within there to take good trades with the Nadex. That does work. But you can just as easily take real trades in a futures account. So, you know, if you can open up a futures account and then trade under a futures broker, you can do really well with this. You just need to learn how to use the codes really well and practice with them. Make sure that you are using them well. Okay, next question from Yoel. What is the difference between code 1 and code 2? Do I need both? Code 1 can be used on just about anything. It's going for a smaller amount of ticks. Code 2 can be used only with oil or the Forex if you knew how to use it right, but unless I teach it to you, you're not going to know how to use it right. But I do teach it for the oil, and so really code 2 is good for oil. And you really want both, because in order to use code 2, you need to use code 1 entries. And so you need to learn how to use code 1 first. And then you learn the code 2, and now you can use code 1 entries into code 2 trades, which are good for a lot more ticks. It's really the best way to trade, in my opinion. It is what you see me doing, and it works. And you know, why argue with something that works, or try to fight something that works? It's the best thing. So get both codes. And I can just tell you this right now, warn you, everybody who gets code 1, they always end up getting code 2. Just about everyone, 99% of all people. So just get them both to begin with. Next question coming from Morgan. I want to learn how to trade as a beginner. Please advise if I could do this online. Thanks. Yes, you can learn how to trade online by purchasing the courses, learning the codes, and then it will all come to you. Learn how to trade. You just got to put in the effort to do it. Okay, another question from Joe. Hi, I would like to know more info on the oil trades you take. Do you run a chat room? I don't run a chat room right now. There's really no need for one. The codes are working so well. If yes, what's the price to join? And what times does your trades take place? It's during the USA session, which opens at like 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, California time, which is the same as 9 a.m. New York time. It opens up. Usually the trading is good for about roughly 4 hours or so. Also, I would like to know the stop loss target you have on each trade. I see that you aim for 40 ticks. What's the drawback? I think you mean drawback. What's the stop? The stop changes on every trade. The stop is different. Code 2 stops are usually larger than Code 1 stops. Not always, but usually. And so it just depends. Sometimes Code 2 stops are not very big. Sometimes they're very big. Sometimes Code 1 stops are very small. Sometimes they're pretty big. So it just depends on each trade. Trades that are too big of stops, you just don't have to take them. It's as simple as that. You know, every trade is a mathematical trade based upon what you think you can get and what you're going to lose, and you want to have that in your favor, of course. Also, I'd like to know the difference between Code 1 and Code 2. Which one do I need? You basically need both if you really want to learn how to do this. If you want to do what I'm doing on YouTube, which is what everybody wants to do, you need both codes, and you need to master them and get really super good at them, and then you will be able to do what I'm doing. Okay, next question. Hi David, I am glad to have come across your channel. I am interested in buying your services. I currently use the app IG. It's not a software. Do you recommend I should be going for a software? Can you please help if I can make good trades via the app? I get to see live prices, not chart. I would love to hear back from you with a solution as I can proceed with joining your academy. I think that you're talking about an app for like an iPhone or smartphone or something. You cannot trade. You cannot use the codes. You cannot trade via an app like that. You really need to, and you can't do it via a laptop either. You really need to have, you know, at a bare minimum, one nice screen like you're seeing here. You need that at a minimum. 2 screens for the futures is really, really nice. I currently have 6 27-inch screens set up, but admittedly this is a bit overkill. It's way overkill for the futures. You don't even need remotely close to this. 2 screens is enough for the futures. But for stocks, you do need enough, and really 4 screens would be sufficient for what I need. 6 screens is hard to look at. From left to right and from top to bottom, it's difficult. But it does give you the luxury of being able to have a lot of stuff to watch for opportunities during the day if you're trading stocks, of course. Now, if you're trading oil, you only watch oil, so it's nothing. There's, you know, it's basically you just look at the code. It's really super simple. Trading stocks, of course, is a whole nother ball game, a whole nother challenge. Take you a lot longer to get good at stocks than it would the code. Way longer. Stocks is pretty difficult to learn unless you have somebody that you're trading with every day. Otherwise, it's very difficult to learn. Only naturals learn it on their own. But anybody else that wants to learn, you really need somebody to trade with, somebody that's really good that you can follow along. With the code, you don't need that. You basically just need to learn the code. Okay, another question. Hello David, how are you? I want to know about your code who work. What have in Code 1, also a oil trader, now 10 years experience, but your experience is better. Any video or information need about your $600 US code or others code have any different must be show. Actually, I don't understand what you're trying to say. All I can say is if you're trading oil or whatever, you really want to have the codes. I'll just leave it at that. Next question from Nicholas. Hello David, I was a customer of the trading room you opened last year. I still watch your videos on YouTube, and I was wondering if it was possible to send me a copy of a charting service document you write every day, just to understand and see what it is. Thank you. You know, in my, you belong to the trading room, yeah, so you probably didn't watch the codes. See, inside the codes, I take you into charting and I show you all about it. If I sent to you what was in the charting, and you didn't know what the codes were, it would make absolutely no sense to you. I mean, it would make zero sense. So it would be no reason, no use in me sending it to you. You would first need to learn the codes first, and then the charting would make perfect sense to you. Next question coming from Debbie. Hello David, I was previously in your charting service. Can I use the charting service for oil trades using Nadex like we did before? Thanks, Debbie. Yes, you can. You can use the charting tracks the code too. However, I'm not sure that you've ever gotten the codes. If you don't know how to use the codes, the charting service won't make any sense to you. You would first need to learn how to use the codes. You need to learn how to use code 1 entries, and then you need to learn the code 2, and then you need to track the code 2. Now you can either use the charting to have me track it for you, or you can track it on your own. I do teach how to do that. However, if you don't know the codes, then the charting won't make any sense to you at all. It'll be like gibberish. So you really need to learn to use the codes. If you have learned to use the codes, then yes, the charting will help you to take the code 2 Nadex trade and do really well with that. Next question. Hi, can I use the Nadex to trade with you, or is there another platform I have to use? You can trade, if you want to trade the Nadex, there's only one platform, there's only one way to trade the Nadex, and that's through the Nadex. And so if you want to trade the Nadex, you're going to have to go through the Nadex, and if you want to trade the Nadex, you're going to have to learn to use the codes. Yeah, I think there's some, I don't have like signals or anything like that for the Nadex or anything like that. Everyone is on their own. They have to learn to use the codes and then go use it for whatever it is they want to use it for. Nadex, E-mini, gold, oil, whatever it is you like to trade. One guy likes to trade the NASDAQ. He wants me to show, he's trading the code 1 on the NASDAQ. He just wants me to make some videos up to see me to trade the code 1 too on the NASDAQ. So my point is that once you learn to use the codes, you can use them on whatever you like. Okay, another question from Andre. He says, yes, agreed. We were having a previous conversation about something. He says, so code is more based on candle formations or patterns? It's sort of like candle formations, and it's sort of like patterns, and it's sort of like something else that I can't mention. And yes, you put all three of them together, and that basically will be what you're looking at to determine the code. So yes, it's all about the chart. See, it's all here. There's nothing else that you need to look at. There's nothing else where you need to go to. You will know which way this is going to go, all because of the chart. And it's what I call the code. Another question coming from Curly. Hello David, Philip, sorry. Hello, my name is Philip, and I'm about a month out of high school. I know almost nothing about trading, but it interests me and I would like to learn more, eventually purchasing our online courses. How would a person like me even begin to gain knowledge about trading? You seem to know pretty much everything there is to know on the subject, so what will help me to get to the point where you are at? I know that you are busy, so thank you for taking the time out of your day. Well, just like anything in life, I'm 50 years old, so it's kind of hard for me to think back what it was like when I was 18 or something, but just like anything in life, if you want something, you go for it with everything that you've got. If you want to learn about trading, you learn about it with everything you got. Now, you don't have to go down to the library and go get a book, or go down to Barnes & Noble, a bookstore, and go buy a book. You can get online on Google and learn how to Google things. You ask the question that you want the answer to, and you can ask it in many different ways to get different types of answers. And you just go in there and you start learning about trading, start immersing yourself. You got YouTube, you can watch trading videos, you can watch people with their trading ideas and opinions or whatever. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's too vast to be able to even bother with to determine one way or another. You have to focus on one thing or another to see what it was, if you thought it was legit or not or whatever. There are a lot of scams out there. We'll try to caution you on that, but I don't think that everybody is a scam. I have you can definitely find some good people out there. You just have to look and have to find out. If you want to trade oil, I teach how to trade oil using the codes. If you want to learn how to trade stocks, you're going to find somebody about that. I do have a free stock trading course at my thing. I trade stocks for many years. I trade stocks now. But I'm just right now I'm teaching how to trade oil, because learning how to trade oil is a lot easier than learning how to trade stocks. And I can just tell you right now, most people are never going to really learn how to really trade stocks on their own, because you really need to have a lot of experience at it. But trading oil is different. You can learn that. It's not that difficult. So you're young, ready, got your whole life ahead of you, just take action. Doesn't matter if you want to learn to trade or learn to do anything else. Just go take action on your own, massive action, and go out and learn as much as you possibly can. And you can be successful at whatever it is that you want to be successful at. It's all about a matter of effort, trying really hard and not giving up. And you can do most things, not everything. There's time to throw in a towel on something. You say, okay, I'm just not good at this, whatever. Time to throw in the towel and give up on it and do something else. You'll find something that you are good at. Next question coming from Daryl. Thank you, David, for the response. I appreciate your time and effort in the response. Regarding the question, can you please provide some performance metrics for code 1 and code 2? Number of trades, positive expectancy, max drawdown, average R&R, profit factor, average winning trade, average losing trade, Sharpe ratio. For these metrics, I am referring to your actually live or simulated or back-tested performance metrics, even if you provide your month-to-month income or average win or average loss. I like your style and approach to trading, but as a responsible investor trader, I need to see some type of track record of your trades to reduce my investment risk and increase my confidence. I am looking for a style like yours to trade daily, so purchasing is not a problem. Gives a phone number to call. Okay, so I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know where you get these numbers. You know, I've seen stuff like this before on like a trading program like Ninja Trader has stuff like this, but the brokers that I use have no such thing, at least not that I know of, and so I don't know where you get these metrics at. Month-to-month income or average win or average loss. Month-to-month income. That would be very complicated, since, you know, I do a lot more things than just trade oil. You know, it's very complicated, right? And I wouldn't want people to know what it is I'm doing exactly. So that would be impossible. And also, you have to realize, from my point of view, you're just one person, and I have to deal with a lot of people. So I don't have time to just sit there and go out of my way just for you so you can purchase a $600 course. You know, the logistics are just impossible on my end of it. So you have to think about, instead of thinking about yourself, you have to think about on my end. If you see my YouTube videos and you think that they're real, you don't think it's a scam or a replay or some other thing like that, then you just need to take a little bit of a risk and purchase for $600, and then you will know whether or not it's real or not. And that's the only way that you're going to know. If it is real, then my claim is that everything is controlled by a computer, and that's how I'm able to take the trade successful over and over and over again. So that's a very bold claim. So you can purchase and then find that out if that information is true for yourself. And if it is true, then you have a huge amount to gain from that, far exceeding a $600 risk. So I suggest just go ahead and taking the risk and purchasing. Over 4,000 people have, and you're in good hands with the code. Next question coming from James. One final question, and I do appreciate your videos, but how complicated is it to learn how to figure out the daily code 1, 2? Well, you got to try to understand something. Okay, I'm going to give you my opinion based upon what I've seen over 4,000 people, and dealing with, thousands more who never did purchase or whatever. I've dealt with a lot of people doing this for the last 8 years. Let me ask you this. How complicated is it to figure out what 10% of 15 is? Would you say that that's complicated? Or would you say it's not complicated? Or would you say it's in the middle somewhere? See, for some people, that's impossible. It's beyond complicated. They don't know what 10% of 15 is. You may think I'm joking, but I'm being very serious. They don't know what 10% of 15 is. So therefore, for them, it's impossible. They cannot learn the code. Now, I'm just giving you one small little example now, okay? Now, for other people, they know exactly what 10% of 15 is and can figure that out in 1 second. So, for them, learning the code is going to be much, much easier. Other people fall somewhere in the middle. They have to think about it for, maybe, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds even, what 10% of 15 is. And so, for them, they can still learn it, but it would take a little bit longer, maybe, and then somebody that knows it right away. My point is, I'm just trying to give you like an analogy or like an idea, so to speak, to open up your mind that there are all kinds of different people out there. So I cannot answer your question accurately since I don't know who you are and what your education level is, or how street smart you are, or I don't even know what street smart means, really, to be honest with you. How good you are with computers, how good you are with numbers, how good you are with taking risks, how good you are with understanding things logically, that type of thing. If you're good at those things, I think that you would be a good candidate for learning the codes and excelling with them. If you're not good with those things, like for instance, again, I know this sounds crazy, but some people don't know that when you go to another place on the planet, that the time changes. So it's no longer like, for instance, their time is like 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? They don't know that it's some other time in some other place. So if they were to call like Australia or something like that, they don't know it's not 8 o'clock in the morning there. Now, I know that sounds crazy to you. And if you would have told me prior to 8 years ago, I would have said it was crazy too. But I'm just telling you that there are people like that. And so for them to learn to use the codes is impossible. They simply don't have the kind of mind that it would take to learn how to use the codes and to learn how to trade. The problem is that everybody wants to come online, press a few buttons, make some money. Even people that don't know about there's differences in times in other places of the world, or even in the country, like say the United States. They don't know there's a different time on the West Coast from the East Coast. Nobody ever told them. They never thought about that before. So it really depends upon the person. But I would just tell you that mathematically speaking, most people are able to learn the codes, and I'm not exactly sure what the number is on most people are able to be profitable with them. Because there's a difference between learning the codes and then going out and being profitable with them. Because when you go out and be profitable with them, all of a sudden you've got all these problems taking place. When you get into a winning trade, right, you get in down here, the code gets you in. As soon as you get a little bit ahead and it starts to come back a little bit, you get scared. You only get out for 5 or 10 ticks because you got scared, and then it keeps going up and you missed out on the trade. Then you go long up here, and it went, you wanted it to go long, and then it starts going back down, and then it hits your stop. Every time it hits your stop, and you lose. And you don't just lose 5 or 10 ticks that you gained over here. You lost 20 ticks, 25 ticks. Now you're down. Now you're what am I doing wrong? You're doing everything wrong. You're doing everything the exact opposite. So, and why are they doing that? Because of emotion. They get in. They're scared. They're scared to stay in to win. They're scared to, when they get in and they lose, then they're scared to even get in, period. And so, and there's all kinds of different variables that are involved with that whole dynamic. different things that I could talk about. Like for instance, if it goes up and you were way ahead, then it comes back down, you didn't get back out, and then you get back out for a 15 tick profit, and then it goes way back up again, and you just want to pull your hair out. Like, why can I never do this right? Because you're being tricked. You're not doing it like I am doing it. I scientifically discovered and engineered the perfect trading system to go along with the codes. Take advantage of them. And if you just do it like I do it, you'll be successful. That's easier said than done, because you have to overcome your emotions now. You got to hold on, and you got to hit those trades. If you're stubborn like that, you'll make it. And every time you don't make it to that exit, you just, don't even let it bother you. Because every time you make it to your exit, you're going to hit a trade, you're going to get bigger and bigger in your account, your account's going to grow. Now, you're looking at my account here that I use for different things, but if you're only going to trade the futures, I really don't recommend having a $31,000 account. You really don't need it. And there's a reason for that. If you take a trade in the futures, let's say you go long, and all of a sudden it goes down, okay, and you don't get out, your whole account will be wiped out if it goes down enough. Whereas if I took a trade on stocks, I can only lose the amount I put into the stock. So if I put $10,000 into the stock, let's say, I can only lose that $10,000. I can't lose my whole account. But with the futures, you can lose your whole account. And I know it sounds, well, that'll never happen, and maybe it never will. But would you rather lose a small account or lose a large account, even though it would never happen? In other words, there's 100,000 in there. That 100,000 could be gone. But there's only 15,000 in there. Only that 15,000 could be gone, and you use that to make 15,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month. So that's what I like to do. So I don't recommend having a really big account just for futures. Now for stocks, you need as much money as you can get. Actually, I really don't like to trade anything over than 100,000. All my trades are usually somewhere under 100,000, and I'm talking about cash. I basically don't even use margin because I don't need to. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. Another question from Matt. I am going to re-review the Code 2 videos. I understand it, but I need to reset my account with Global. Question. I thought you had a video that helped coordinate the screen settings to look like yours. It is much easier to follow when the screen is identical. My intent is to just follow oil, Code 2 with you. The time of day fits in with my schedule much easier. Any feedback is appreciated. Best regards, Matt. Yeah, just Google how to set up Global Zen Trader, and you'll see a YouTube video that I did from Day Trading Futures Academy, and you'll see a video there, and you can just watch that video. I basically describe how to set it all up. Okay, another question from Jennifer. Hi, I'm interested in your course, but having bought other courses already, I'd like to ask a few things, please. I'd like to know about your money-back guarantee, please. It says 7 days, so within 7 days, I'd be trading already. No, but what you can do is you can watch the course, with courses within those 7 days. You don't need to trade to know that the code is going to work. You will know the code is going to work when you watch the video courses and you see the charts that I will send to you. Then you will know that the code works, and there won't be any question about that. So you'll know that what the information that I just gave to you is something extremely valuable, and you will want to go out and start using it now. There's no reason to see it work. You can see it work right on the chart. I have purchased other courses that promise money back and offer support, which was not the case, so I'm a bit wary now, but I'm intrigued about your course. Yeah, I give you support. Also, do you sell the strategy software with your course? Strategy software. I don't know what that is. I think you mean charting Actually, I don't know what you mean. Does this software need to be paid for monthly or yearly? Or is it one-off purchase? I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I think maybe you mean the trading software that you would need through the broker. That should be free. And if I purchase the course, but I need help with something I don't understand, is help available? Yes, help will be available. Another question from Mike. Hi David, glad to see you back. I held off purchasing when you went on a hiatus. If the codes are available for purchase, can you provide Skype-based questions and answers sessions for trading questions? I can't do Skype anymore because I'm just too busy, and I really can't even answer emails anymore because I'm just too busy. But I'm trying to do this through YouTube and answering emails this way. People can watch these and get answers, and then I can save the technical answers for the emails where I'll provide support. I've seen some days on your YouTube when you went minus, just wondering if that's just the algo changing up midweek. Different things. It could me just be making a mistake. It could be the code is a little bit tricky. You know, I used a code 1 instead of a breakout. You know, different things that would equal something like that. But the codes are always working. It's just basically you making a mistake using them. Also, can this work with tick charts, or is it time charts? Since I noticed trades take place around 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, I'm not sure what a tick chart and a time chart is. I just use the candlesticks on the chart. Okay, another question from Mitos. Hi David, I want to thank you. So I follow your code and made money today and Tuesday. Your code makes me disciplined better than before. I follow the rules and pay attention the time. For me, the strategy is more comfortable. Before I learned your code, I was really emotional, guess the direction every time and fight myself. Code 1 is pretty good. I attached my past trade and want to ask you, am I doing the right way? And today I try the micro code. I guess that was. I don't know I am right or not. Oh, macro code. Your opinion and help are super important to me. Thank you. Happy trading, my toes. Hang on, let me take a look at your pictures. I'll come right back. Yeah, it looks like you're understanding it, but I don't know that you're using as precise of entries as you could be. I mean, you certainly do have a basic understanding of the code too, but I'm not sure that you're using, maybe you just didn't show it on the chart, but you definitely want to use the code 1 into the code 2. So, but if it helps you to trade like the way you're showing, that's fine too. You know, I'm a big believer in do whatever works, okay? It's real simple. You just find something that works and you keep doing that. If it doesn't work anymore, then you have to do something else, but go with what works, you know. So if what's you're doing the way you're doing it, if that's working for you, that's great. Another question from Saquib. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Hi David, I hope you are well and loving life in Phuket. I was over the moon once I seen on YouTube that you started up again. I was over the moon once I seen on YouTube that you over the moon. I don't know what you're saying. Please, 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 can you open the trading room again? I found it way more effective. Besides, these other signal providers, etc., have nothing on you and your methods. Please, 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 can you open the trading room again? I found it way more effective, and besides, these other signal providers, etc., have nothing on you and your methods. I have done nothing but lose money. Oh, okay, you're saying that the signal. Please consider it. I generally loved working with Room. You know, the beautiful thing about the codes is that you can learn to use them for yourself. And then you're a free trader. You can trade whatever you want. You don't have to just rely on me to come into a room to come, lead you into trades. You can learn to do it yourself. It's going to open up a whole world of financial opportunity. Let's say, for instance, you are somebody who's got at least $10,000 or more, and you want to make some money. This Interactive Brokers right here is one of the most powerful trading brokers that you can get in the world, because you can access everything from here. Chinese stocks, everything in the world, all the stocks of the world, all options, all currencies, everything. You name it, you can access it from here, from Interactive Brokers. So whenever there's an opportunity of any kind in the world, you can take advantage of it from here. And if you know the codes on yourself, you don't have to rely on me. For instance, you remember when Brexit came out? All kinds of people were wanting me to come come trade the GBP and use the code on it. But I didn't have any interest in it. I knew it would make a big movement, but I still didn't have any interest in it. And but if you want to trade something like that, all you have to do is learn to use the codes, and then you can do really well on your own, and learn to trade anything that has opportunity. So really, I've started this off as when I made a decision to teach the codes. I made a decision to teach people how to be real traders, because I did a trading room for many, many years doing stocks, and I can't do both. I really need to focus on one, and I'd rather focus on teaching people, real traders who want to be traders, want to learn how to do this for a living, to do it. But I appreciate you saying that that you like the room, and that you've lost money with the other signal providers. Yeah, I don't know who you're using, but there's a lot of shady stuff out there, that's for sure. Here's another question from Julian. Hi David, I've been interested in day trading CL. My question is, what would you advise for someone first starting out with limited funds to work with, 1 to 2,000? I have a day job, but I would like to not have to work full time on it, and I would like to split my time up working from home on trading and freelancing filming. Any advice you have, I appreciate. Thailand is great as well. It talks about Thailand. Okay, so really, to trade oil, you're going to need more than that much money. So what I would do is I would practice trading and save your money, and just keep practicing and save your money. If it takes another year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, just save up. You need to save up, I would say, a minimum of like 3,000, and then you could get started trading one contract and try to make that work. The problem is that here's the problem. Okay, when you're dealing with that small amount of money, and even if not, you still have the problem. Even if you're dealing with 300,000 or 3,000, you still have the same problem, in the sense that when you get in, if you start losing money, or anytime you're down at all, or even when you're not down, but you're not up, or even when you're up and then you go back down, it can really play with your emotions. And when you practice in a demo trading account, those emotions are not there, because in the back of your mind it's just not real money, you're not really going to lose, so therefore you're not really taking any risk. But when you actually do use real money and actually do take the risk, it takes on a whole nother life, so to speak, and you become nervous. Hands start to sweat. You start breathing heavy. Your heart starts to beat faster. You're having this severe psychological reaction, or physical reaction, to this psychological event taking place of you having your money up there at risk, and that you could lose it. And a lot of people find out that they can't handle that. They just cannot handle that. While other people, for instance, take the exact opposite problem, and they become gambling holics, and all they do is gamble. They love to gamble. They'll go and gamble, gamble, gamble. You know, put $500 down on one blackjack hand, or put $500 down on a roulette wheel, and put it on 5 different numbers, you know, and separate it out, and lose it, and then, you know, like it was nothing, and then just keep gambling. You know, some people have the opposite problem. To be a trader, you have to be somewhere in the middle. You can't be totally afraid to trade, afraid to risk your money, and you also can't be crazy and just be totally willing to take any trade and every trade, and you just want to make money, and you just, you know, it's like you have no discipline, no plan, nothing. So, but if you don't have enough money to get started with, you don't even have a buffer. So, for instance, let's say you can get open an account for $3,000. It's going to take $2,000 for your margin. Just open up one contract. You're going to have $1,000 there for a buffer. That means you can lose 100 ticks at $10 a tick, which is one contract. So you can lose 100 tick. You have a 100 tick buffer there. If you go below that, you're not going to be able to trade anymore. So you got to stay above that. You can't lose 100 ticks. Well, how can you do that? Practice before you ever trade. You know, you should be practicing, I mean, for as long as it takes until you are able to sit there on a demo account and make money. And you always use the code. You don't ever do anything outside the code, just like you normally would. Everything has to be the exact same. And if you can do that, and do that on a consistent basis, then you will be ready to go live in a real account with enough money, though. So 1 to 2,000, I'm sorry to say, is just simply not enough to trade with. Well, not oil, anyway. You might be able to trade a mini oil and do it that way, or do the E-mini S&P. A lot of people like that one. The code also works on those as well. You just use the code on those. They're cheaper to trade. Another question from Earl. Hello, is the live room going? No, the live room, the day trading room is not going because the codes are really easy right now. What size account do you recommend? To start trading oil, I would recommend a $5,000 account is good to use one contract with. Gives you plenty of buffer, you can go down a bit and take some losses and have plenty of time to come back. But also, you need to practice using the system. You'd be surprised how many people don't practice using the system. I mean, seriously, I mean, there's a lot of people who come on, watch the videos, and they come on, start taking trades in a real account, and don't even practice using the system at all. I don't recommend doing that. If any system that you first learn, you should be practicing it to make sure that you have it down. Are the statistics based off your live calls or your own trades? I'm not sure what statistics you're talking about. I don't really know what you mean. Oh, I think you mean the record, maybe. The record off your live calls, your own trades. It would be trades, my own trades, not live calls, just my own trades. Another question from Tank. Hi, I am impressed with your daily performance on Code 2. Are there any videos on the Code 1 performance which you can share? Also, are you using any indicators? And are the entries and exit exact, meaning everyone will have the same setup and entries? Okay, I'm impressed with your, are there any videos on Code 1 performance which you can share? If you go way back to the very beginning of the channel, the YouTube channel, you'll find that all of those trades were all Code 1s. I used to use Code 1 like crazy, and then because I didn't teach the Code 2, I saved that for myself. That was my original plan. I wasn't going to let anybody know about the Code 2. That was my own thing, my own discovery, and I just taught the Code 1. But later, I decided to go ahead and teach the Code 2 and let everybody in on it as well. Also, are you using any indicators? And are the entries and exit exact? Am I using any indicators? Yes, the codes are the indicator. I'm not using any other indicator except for the code. And are the entries and exit exact? The entry is exact. The exit is not exact, but you do have a good general idea of where the exit should be placed at. It's not always right. Sometimes it goes way past the exit. You could have made way more money. Sometimes it doesn't quite make it to the exit. But as a general rule, most of the time, mathematically speaking, you'll know what the exit is going to be, assuming that you are tracking it, which I of course teach how to do in my courses. Okay, question coming from Larry. Hello, David. I didn't know you had restarted the code trading on CL. What has changed to make you start trading again? Well, oil is really super active now. It's doing very, very, very good. Where can I find information on your tracker and how to sign up? You just go to the website, and you'll see that you'll see everything on the website. I'm not sure what you're asking to sign up for. You know, they have different things to sign up for. Right now I just have a charting service, and I have my codes, the code videos that I sell. So that's really all you need. Okay, another question coming in from Alfredo. Hello, I just found your page and I was watching some of your videos, and it's interesting how you trade. I would like to get your course, but it doesn't say what you teach. Just show you trading with not indicator or something like that. How do I know it's real? Don't take this in the wrong way, but I would like to have more information. Regards, Alfredo. Okay, so it doesn't say what you teach. Just show you trading and not indicator or something like that. How do I know it's real? How do you know it's real? Well, when you look at the videos, you know, you should just use your best judgment. You know, do you think that it looks real? You know, does anything there look fake or anything like that? You know, just I don't really know. You know, you use all the reviews, you know, to see if it's real. Anyway, it's all real. Another question, I would like to join your charting service, but I've noticed some gaps in the calendar where you apparently didn't trade. Are you planning on consistently trading on a daily basis, or at least 3 to 4 days a week? Yeah, I am trading pretty much almost every day now, but that won't last forever though. And you don't need me to trade. You're just going to use the codes for yourself. So it doesn't matter how much I trade. In fact, I could retire right now and you could still use the codes, right? So you don't care about what I'm doing. David, I would like to trade your system again through the charting service, but would like to know what time you're typically trading. I am in Indiana, so now that would be Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time from 9 a.m. to, let's say, lunchtime. You're going to need to be available to trade using the charting service as a general rule. Okay, I am done now with the general questions. Now I've got to go in and finish answering all of the technical questions that people have using the codes and stuff. So that's not something I can do here on YouTube, unfortunately, and I need to do that one by one and answer everyone's questions individually about their specific questions. Anyway, I am going to start doing this more and more about answering emails through YouTube videos, because quite frankly I just don't have the time to answer emails like that through typing it out. It really takes me a lot of time, and I need to do this way so I can make it easier on myself. And it might be a little bit more of a pain for each individual person, but there's just nothing I can do about it anymore. Anyway, so there are some questions answered, and I'll be back with more videos like this to answer more questions as they come in, and they get too backed up, and I'll have to do it like this again. So I'll be back on Monday, which is actually today for me. It's Monday at 3:42. Still Sunday though in the USA. So yeah, I believe this clock right here is Pacific Standard Time. It should be 1:43 a.m. So actually it is technically Monday in the States as well. So anyway, I will be back, which is tonight for me, and I'll be back to do some trading. I'm going to trade the CL oil again, just like I normally always do. But I also have other things, of course, that I also trade as well. So I will see all of you for Monday's trading of the codes, and for all of you chartering subscribers, it's already up there, and the game plan is ready for Monday. And let's come out trading. I'm going to show off the codes a bit and show just what you can do trading the codes. And oil is active, and they're going to make the code shine. So it's, as far as I'm concerned, it is a money-making time trading oil, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll be back. Happy trading out there, everyone.